Again, good morning from California. This hour we have Olivia Taylor Dudley stopping by.
She's coming on right now, actually.
Magicians on SyFy, and saw her in the hallway.
Yeah, I think that was her.
Yeah, it was her.
If it wasn't her, then I started talking to some hot blonde chick thinking it was her. There she is.
She's like, everybody here's so friendly. Hey, there she is.
What's
It
going
is
on?
her. See?
How are you?
Olivia Taylor Dudley, welcome to the show. We are
for having
Covino and Rich.
And I've broken everything already.
And you've dropped all of our headphones and everything. Hey, welcome to our show. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks.
Again, Magicians on SyFy, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. on SyFy channel. I hear great things about the show all the time. My first question for you, you've been in entertainment forever, right? Since you were a little kid, you wanted to be an actress and everything. When you see these award shows on TV, because we were talking about the Grammy Awards earlier, do you feel as an entertainer, do you feel like you should be at all those shows, whether it's the Emmys or something like that?
Like deep down inside, you feel like, I should be there.
Right.
I want to be there.
Because I have no business there, and I feel that.
Yeah, it's a funny question. Actually, I used to work in award shows for years. When I first moved to
No
Los
way.
Angeles, I worked in production for many years just to get by. I started out PAing, working with talent. So I worked all of those shows for many years, just trying to make a buck.
So for
I was,
you, it's work. Like you associate that with work.
Like backstage at the Grammys, I've done that many times and carried, red M&Ms to one artist and get somebody else to the stage,
Right.
making sure audience is in their seats. So for me, I
Everybody's
don't need to
weird
go
needs
unless
are
I've been
accommodated.
invited. Yeah.
When you're saying this stuff, this is what I immediately think because I'm a bozo. But I see you're a beautiful young woman, trying to make your way in Hollywood and that sort of thing. You're working behind the scenes for all these powerful people. Are these guys seeing you, and then were you getting hit on by celebrity guys all the time? I'm not saying inappropriately.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Or
inappropriately.
I mean, that's obviously a subject that's been coming up a lot and
Yeah.
something I've been thinking about. And yeah, there's definitely been times in my career, especially as a young artist, where I was hit on. I don't even think that. You know what? I was hit on in an inappropriate way. But yeah, it's really sad to think about. But
I was actually going
makes
though.
you tough.
Yeah, I know, but I was actually going in a flattering way. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I can't believe that dude was hitting on me just because of where you were at the time.
Yeah, it's always, it's nice when people think you're pretty, but that really was not my focus. That's not why I was there.
Red
So
M&Ms
it
was
was
the
kind
focus.
of a bit of
M&M sorting.
yeah, no, it wasn't really something I was looking for.
Well, what we were talking about, so you worked in production. Maybe you can answer this
Yeah.
question. What does DJ Khaled really do? Is he a producer? Because we were trying
No one
to figure,
really knows.
I have no idea.
No one knows.
we were trying to figure that out earlier today.
Well,
So
before you walked in, we were
Yeah.
just wrapping up a conversation about Dane Cook, who we all love. We can't deny that we love Dane Cook's comedy,
Right.
especially like 10
That's
years,
what
10
makes
plus
us
years
awkward.
ago. He's 45 dating a 19-year-old.
Wow.
Is that? I mean, you said wow. Is
Yeah.
it? But is that too much? Are people being judgy for caring? I don't think they look mismatched. But could someone that's 19 date a 45-year-old and it makes sense?
I don't know. I mean, my gut instinct is that it's a little weird.
yeah. Well, we're trying to figure out. We said there's a line where some guy could be considered, oh, he's the man because he's dating a younger woman, and then you
Then it's
go a
creepy.
few years, and then you cross that line, and it's like, oh, he's just a creepy guy.
I think that is a creepy way of looking at it. I don't think that makes him the man for dating a younger woman. But
Right.
That's just my personal opinion. I mean, if they're in love, they're in love. That's
Right.
one thing. But I mean, I don't know. I always think about when
When you were
10 years ago when she
was.
was much younger and he was
yeah.
still not young.
He sold
Exactly.
that. He sold that
creepier.
Madison Square. He sold that Madison Square Garden in 07, and she was 8.
Wow.
So that's when you got to think of it that way. When you were 19, if you dated a 45-year-old, would your family and friends have been like, "What are you doing?"
Probably.
I would say so, definitely.
Yeah.
But does her father care? So who are you to judge? I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
Not her father.
It's,
exactly.
It's so fucking weird. Okay, so again, you got into this business at 5 years old. I do want to know a little more about you.
I like your question though about the award show thing because you're right. I feel like when we watch those shows, I assume incorrectly.
Yeah,
that
I feel like I'm
everyone,
missing out.
I feel like everyone that's an actor in some capacity is like, I just haven't got the role that's given me the chance to get up there and do an acceptance speech and win some award. Is that?
Well, okay, see that it's twofold. I don't have a desire to go unless I've been invited for a very real reason. Like
Okay.
I don't want to go just to hang out at the Oscars. I've worked the Oscars.
Yeah.
I want to go when I have something I'm proud of, a piece of work that I've been nominated for would be fucking incredible.
But is that
of
your
course I
pride
would
because
wanna
you're in
go.
the industry?
Is that what?
Is that just like your pride because you're in the industry? Like, I'm not just going to go there to go there.
No,
She has no interest in
no,
going.
I don't know. I just have been to so many of them. I know what a shit show it is.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. No, I mean, it'd be amazing to go. I mean, I remember there was a point I was working the Oscars, I think pre-Oscars, and I had gone on the stage like a week before by myself at night, and I like gave a fake acceptance speech on the stage. I don't know if I was even supposed to be there or anything, but yeah, that's like, of course, the dream as an actor. Everybody wants to be there for that. So
is that where nerves kick in reality when you go up to accept your first big award?
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Right? That's got to be such a nerve-wracking, like, out-of-body experience.
That's why
I'm not good at that stuff.
That's why no matter what, people always they seem to be, oh my God, I thought I would know what I was going to say, but I don't know what I'm going to say. Yeah, you probably in your whole career think maybe this will happen one day.
Yeah, but public speaking is the worst. This is a nice setting.
Yeah, would you write out a speech? Would you write out a speech, or would
probably,
you go out there and wing it?
I didn't say something stupid, but then I probably still would.
Right. Would you thank David Duchovny? I saw you worked with him recently.
I'd like to thank the Duke,
Larry David. No, I was just looking at some of the people you
Larry
worked
David.
with. I was like, wow, man, she worked with the Duke, Duchovny, and Larry David. That's cool, and a bunch of other cool people.
Yeah.
Who stands out for you when you look back at all the people? Because again, like, you've been acting and doing all this stuff for a while now.
Yeah. Oh man, what a dream it was to work with Larry David. I'm
what
such
was
a
your
huge
interaction?
Larry David
you
fan.
made a brief appearance on Curb Your Enthusiasm, right?
Yeah, they just called me up and said we'd be on an episode. Everything there is very improv, so I didn't know going in what I would be doing or anything like that. But I was like, is it with Larry David? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll be deep background. I don't even have to be seen on camera. I'll just be in the room
just
somewhere.
to say.
Yeah, and he was such a sweet person. He lives up to his Larry Davidness, and he was like my hero.
See, that's the other thing. This goes along with the award show question. Again, we're here with Olivia Taylor Dudley from Magicians.
Don't you feel like if you were with Larry David, you feel like you'd automatically fail because you would try to act a certain way around them because you're like, it's Larry David.
Or
I
make
feel like
some reference.
I feel like I have to, be a certain level of funny to be around Larry David.
Yeah, I've worked in improv a lot in my career, so I try not to push the funny thing because I don't think it goes over well.
It does not.
People don't like that, and I'm much more of a dry sense of humor, so it doesn't come out right away.
Right.
So no, I was just very nice to him. I mean, in the scene, I play a swinger showing up to his house, trying to go to a swinging party that he doesn't realize. So I hit on him at the door, so that was a little awkward to like flirt with Larry David. But yeah, he's
how cool is
my hero,
that?
man.
That's awesome. See, but now I'm thinking, like, you're a fan of that show, right? You're a fan of Kirby, much like everyone else, but you're an actress, and this is what you do. At what level what line do you not cross when you're a fan of something? Let's say you like, hey, I really like Black Mirror on Netflix. Now, what stops you from reaching out to them and just trying and sending out tweets and
to get on the show?
Yeah, like if you're just a fan, like what lines don't you cross?
Oh, I don't think I've ever done that.
Why not?
I let my agents know what shows I'm into, and it's a scheduling thing too. I shoot my show 6 months out of the year in Vancouver, and so I can't really work half of the year. And so when I'm here, I'm really looking for movies mostly is what I really want to be working on right now. But,
that's the goal.
There's so much good television out there. It'd be an overwhelming thing to be like, I want to be on this show and this show and this show. It's kind of like you just wait for a really good part to come along that speaks to you.
So if your show films in Vancouver and you're there most of the time, when you find out you got the show, you're stoked. All right, perfect, great show, Magicians, SyFy, people are excited about it. When that all goes down, do you think to yourself, oh, now I got to spend a lot of time in Canada? Is there a party that says, oh, shit, like my life's going to be half the time somewhere else?
Yeah, it's always a scary thing. I mean, actors, when they sign their contracts, you normally sign a 7-year contract and you have to be living somewhere else. So it's kind of you do that often, not knowing if you're going to get the part. So when I actually got it, I'd never been to Canada before, and I was really excited to go. But the reality of living somewhere else for 6 months out of the year took a lot of getting used to. But I love Canada. It's a beautiful place. Vancouver's amazing.
It is.
It was kind of a good time of year to go. I mean, I'm there when it's really hot here and when it's warm there. So
they call it what? Didn't they call it deck season
deck
when we were
season?
there? Everyone gets out on the deck and
half
parties.
Half the year, people have the outdoor areas where bars are open, and the other half of the year it's freezing.
You don't see anybody.
So you don't see anyone out.
Wow. I was reading here, too, again, Olivia Taylor Dudley. If you want to check her out, Instagram, Olivia Dudley. Olivia Taylor Dudley on Twitter and Instagram. You're doing some horror films, or did you already do that?
I did.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's that like, because, we watched a film, we see the end result, and we're like, oh, we're all caught up in it. But what's it like on the set when you're working one of these things? Is it completely different? Do you find yourself like laughing inside at how fun yet silly that sort of thing is?
Constantly.
Yeah, is that really is that the vibe?
Yeah, I did a lot of horror movies in the beginning of my career. do them anymore, but they're really fun. I'm a big fan of that genre, and I love anytime you can suspend your beliefs. So horror movies are kind of a big one for that. And yeah, on set there's times when things seem really fucking stupid, and you're running from something that isn't real, or you're vomiting like demon guts.
Right.
I don't know.
See, I love that's a genre of movies that I love.
I love say, that's right in your
to
wheelhouse.
me, like the cheesier the horror movie, the better.
I've made some cheesy ones.
What's the cheesiest one? And what is
actually one I'm really proud of that I made my own production company. We made is called Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
No way.
Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That
It's got
sounds
awesome
like it's
people
totally
in it.
in
It's
our
got Greg
wheelhouse.
Sestero from The Room. I had this web series called 5 Second Films where we put out a film every day for like 6 years, me and my buddies, and that was our first feature we made together, and it's really stupid and awesome and
I'm glad you said really stupid, because we've been doing this
In
show
a
for
good way.
15 years, right?
Yeah.
And in a good way. When I would talk early in my 20s, we're talking in my 20s now.
Yeah, because you're so mature
I'm
now.
so much mature, than I was then. I would always start a sentence with dude and end it with bro. Like, yo, dude, that's a sweet shirt, bro. Right? so, people started calling us up saying, hey, what's going on, dude bros? And then we started becoming the king of the dude bros.
In this,
Really?
Swear to God,
in this
for
movie,
years.
Gotta
in this
love
movie,
it.
Yeah, but hold on.
you're dead.
But yeah, I know. So we sort of took on this persona that we never really asked for. Like, dude, hey, dude, bro.
People would be like,
Until this day, and we're talking like years later. People
I
within
hate
the
it.
company are still like, hey, what's going on, dude, bros?
Oh,
And we're like,
that's
oh,
fun.
fuck. We're still known as the
Always
dude
gonna
bros.
Can we
be
put
like
it-
an 80-year-old dude bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Spot, can you play
won't go away.
Can you play the trailer of this, please, or just a part of it?
Absolutely.
Dude Bro Party Massacre.
Brock. This is a safe place. I need you to tell me everything.
I don't know if I can talk about that. It's just so painful. Okay, I'll try.
For the
New
brothers
films.
of the coolest frat in Chico.
Welcome to Delta Bi. You'll see that the party never stops here.
Delta Life was a party.
Your weekend at the lake?
Until the party was dead.
So that's me. I'm the killer.
You're the killer.
Motherface.
You kill all the dude bros.
Kill all the dude bros. It's kind of it's just playing with genders and then all these dudes at a frat party instead of like a bunch of cheerleaders getting killed.
That's hilarious.
I'm wondering again. This looks great. We're here with Olivia Taylor Dudley. Now I'm thinking.
Larry King has a cameo in this?
Larry King, Patton Oswalt, a bunch of people. Greg Sestero.
No way. Pat
Yeah.
Oswalt, who you've been saying is great on the Goldbergs, narrating
Patton
the
Oswalt
Goldbergs.
narrating the Goldbergs makes
Yeah.
that show awesome.
I
Right.
just started watching that because Patton.
I
It's really good.
started binge watching episode 1, season 1, no joke, 2 weeks ago, and I'm already done with 2 seasons.
Oh wow!
I'm obsessed with it.
I'm only a few in.
Now,
it's
when
good.
you're
It's good.
watching, the trailer there, your career, blossomed, and you're now the star of Magicians on SyFy, and you're still doing other things. When you see these other people you worked with, what's your mindset? Like, hey, I wonder what happened to that guy. Like, do you ever think about those things?
I mean,
and reach
all the
out?
people in
or-
that movie
Yeah.
are my best friends.
Really?
I see them
Oh,
all
no.
the time.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
But
It's like-
I'd imagine people along the way, like some people like, oh my God, they were in a huge movie, or they're a superstar, and other people, like he said, you must think, did they quit or it just never happened?
yeah, I think about it sometimes. You meet so many people in this business and you lose touch with them. Whenever you make a project, you think you're going to be best friends with these people forever, and then you never speak to them again.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty big hermit. I don't have a lot of friends. I have like a very close.
What's
knit
that
group.
about?
I don't know. I'm socially anxious.
Seriously, so you don't go out much. Do you live here in L.A. or no?
I
Where do you
live
now?
here in LA. Yeah, I live on the east side. By
So
a
the party
mountain
comes
far
to
away.
you?
Yeah,
You don't
I live by a mountain far away from
I'm
other
on a mountaintop
humans.
with my dogs.
Hey, that's the fact that you could afford a mountaintop,
Well, I don't
crib.
know if it's that fancy.
No, but that's awesome. That's cool. So you're not like in on the scene
No,
sort of thing.
I mean, I've lived in LA. I moved here when I was 17 on my own. So I lived in Hollywood for 10 years. I've lived on the West Side. I've lived everywhere in LA and had a lot of rough times. So
So has it been there, done that, or it's just never was your scene?
it never was my scene, but you kind of have to be in the thick of it to get a job. So
Is that the sucky part? I always wonder that, is that people, you notice sometimes people say, once they're established, like, I don't want to be in that scene anymore. But I feel like at one point you have to sort of immerse yourself into events, parties, going to things. Because if you don't meet people, it's sort of part of it, no?
I mean, I have not ever been a part of the party scene in this town. I think the only parties I've ever been to have been in the last like 3 years promoting my show, and they're like
You have to go to those events.
Entertainment Weekly party. I don't go out to like clubs. I think I've been to like one club since I've moved here. That's
Does that make it
not
hard?
my thing.
Does that make it harder though? Because I'm with you. I don't like
Are
that.
you a terrible dancer?
Yeah,
no,
that,
I'm
is
a
that what it
fucking
is?
awesome
No,
dancer.
I don't know.
But I prefer to dance by myself.
With your dog. With your dogs.
With my dogs.
In the mirror.
Yeah.
Just
No, but I don't think that's how you get a job,
No, I
honestly.
know.
Or at least not the jobs that I want to be getting. So
Those equal like the cheesy jobs is what you're saying? Like the people that are like, yeah.
I want people to see my work. I want to go in and earn it the right way in auditions and get it through my agents. And it's nice to meet people over a glass of champagne, but I've never gotten a job that way. So
Right. What was it like growing up being homeschooled? I always wonder that. I always wonder what that would be like.
I don't know if I have a good. I don't know if I'm a good person to ask because I only homeschooled I dropped out in 7th grade and homeschooled through, I think, sophomore year, and then I dropped out of high school completely.
You did?
I did. I never finished high
because
school.
you were acting already and doing
your
thing?
Yeah, I wanted to do this.
Okay.
I was riding horses competitively my whole childhood, so that took up most of my time. So
wait, so when you dropped out of high school, did you get the good enough degree? Did you go back
a few years later just to see if I could get it, and I got it.
You did?
I don't know where it is.
But
somewhere.
at least you did. I'd be nervous to take that test.
It was nerve-wracking.
I just feel. I feel so awkward horseback riding.
Really?
I really do. I don't know why. Anytime I've ever gone horseback riding, has always been like to try to be romantic or do something. Let's go horseback riding. I feel like the whole time I'm on the horse, I'm like, when is this over? When is this over? I feel like at any moment this horse is gonna go haywire.
The horse feels your nervous energy because you're so hyper to nurse.
I've been riding since I was 3, so it's not something I experienced.
You feel at total ease on a horse.
Yes, I would like to do a Western. I've been trying to find a Western so I could ride a horse in a movie, but they're very expensive to make. Insurance is high. I've been begging to get like a unicorn on my show about magic, and they haven't brought me a unicorn yet.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's right. Why don't you you can make that happen. Magicians, our producer Spot always talks to us about magicians. How did that all work out for you? Is that something you just tried out for? Is it sort of who you know kind of thing?
Yeah, it was a script that came across my desk, an audition, and I saw the name, and I'm a big fucking magic nerd. I love.
Right, you believed in it as a kid, right?
I did, yeah. So like for me, anything to do with magic is very exciting, and so I read it, I loved it, I read for it. And when I got it, I was super stoked. I mean, it's a really fun show. The writing is excellent. We deal with a lot of very human issues. Like, it's a show called The Magicians, but it's about the human experience and what it's like to grow up in this world. It's a good next step for people who are Harry Potter fans.
Right. That's what.
It's so funny you should say that because our producer Spot.
Beardy guy.
The beardy guy.
Right
Love
there.
the show.
I can see it.
He is a huge Harry Potter fan. Huge Potter fan, but he's like, listen, this is so up his alley, and he's like, you guys will love it. So,
but you'd be amazed at how many people have no interest in magic, never read Harry Potter, and they love the show. Like, we have an older audience. I people who are like 70 years old have come up to me in airports and been like, I'm such a fan of your show. I'm like, what are you doing watching this?
Do you watch the Carbonaro Effect on True TV?
No.
The magician reality show guy?
I love that show. No, I love that guy. I think he's great.
That's your speed because you're a dummy.
I love that guy. Yeah, I'm a dude, bro. So, yeah, magicians on SyFy. So now, because you have that Harry Potter sort of, almost that Comic-Con sort of fan base.
Yeah, how do you lure all of them to the show? That's the key, right? To keep getting more and more Harry Potter type fans.
Yeah, I mean, the Magicians is based on a book series by Lev Grossman, so it's a trilogy that already has a very big audience. So we had a built-in audience going into the show, and then all the Harry Potter fans were ready to tear us apart right away, and they ended up loving the show. So once you get embraced by all the Harry Potter fans,
I love how you said the Harry Potter fans are ready to tear us apart like they're a gang.
No, but
you never know.
Don't mess with us.
Books are beloved. And
I was getting at that. How are you dealing with again? It's not just like you have fans of the show. You got like crazy fandom, crazy fans, fanatics. And I'm wondering, because you're an attractive woman, are they like over the top? Are you like their sex symbol right now? And how crazy does that get for you?
In the magic world, she's the #1 sex.
Right.
I play a very strong woman on the show, and she's very intelligent, and that's where I lead this character from. And in the real world, people do say very inappropriate things. Like this week on Instagram, somebody said something about the way I look, and it offended me. I mean, half of it was a compliment, half of it was an insult, and I blew it up, and I called them out on it. And then thousands and thousands of people are seeing this person and this awful thing they said, because it's disappointing what people think they can say on social media to women. And I've lived on the internet for 10 years with
shit they say about
me.
You're a one-hated dude, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, what do you think about it? Is it really just Twitter because people are not accountable because everyone fake accounts? Is that what it is? Because I feel like Instagram and Facebook and other social media.
Because of the what story came out today? The I guess I don't know what story were they reporting on the news today. They were saying there was 18 to 24 fake Twitter accounts, 18 to 24 million fake Twitter accounts, but Twitter is saying lower than that.
Yeah, no, but they're saying bots. Whereas I'm saying like people could go on and, people could go. No, I'm saying people could go on and just be whoever they want and say the meanest, racist, terrible, sexist shit, and there's no accountability because they're just a little egg.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's the bad part of social media.
It is. I mean, I'm conflicted with social media. I don't.
Do you respond? Because you said you responded this time.
No, I don't normally. I mean, for the last 10 years, I mean, my web series on YouTube, the comments that are left on YouTube are some of the most disgusting things I've ever read. But on Instagram, it feels a little bit more personal. So I sometimes I respond and I'll shut them down but it's fun to watch my other fans attack these people when they say something nasty to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to know they have my back and to see things kind of shift.
That's
but
good.
getting involved can be very dangerous.
Rich always says the same thing. Like a lot of times it's from an anonymous person, but when you click on that person, you see he really stands behind what he says, and it's a real person.
Well, no, when it's a real person, when it's a real person, I almost credit them being such an asshole.
Yeah.
Like I've clicked on someone that says mean shit. I'm like, there they are with their wife and kids. Like, oh my goodness, they're really just a true asshole. Yeah. I almost like applaud their honesty opposed to someone that says, if you have an egg, a dog, or a car as your photo, can you really take that person seriously?
I mean, most of the time they're just private. It'll be some dude's face and it'll say private.
What's mean shit they say? Just like
I don't want to repeat it. I don't want to feed into it, but the things that they feel like they can say about my body,
like sexual.
Or
that's
it's
gross.
Disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's starting to shift. I've seen, obviously in the last year, it's become a very big topic of discussion, and it's nice to know how many people on there are supportive of that and
now,
don't let it happen.
Do you have a tough skin as far as criticism when it comes to your acting or anything, or the shows that you're on or your movies? Are you okay with that? Because I guess it comes along with the territory. It's kind of what you do. Or do you read that stuff, or do you ignore it?
I consider myself to have a very thick skin. I've been doing this most of my life, and I haven't quit yet. Nothing really bothers me.
Who's the honest person in your life? Like who's like the friend or family member that you're like, honestly, give me the truth. How was I on that episode?
Yeah. My sister's really good at that. My boyfriend's good at that.
Yeah. Giving you the real scoop, the good feedback.
Or I don't ask them.
I mean, if your boyfriend said you were not very good, that's a terrible approach.
You can get lost in reviews, so I try not to read them. When it first comes out, it's fun to see what people say, but after that, no.
Wow. Again, Olivia Taylor Dudley is here. Season 3 of Magicians on SyFy. Spot made some weird analogy today. We were talking about The Sopranos, reinvesting in The Sopranos. And he was saying, if you watch from season 1, Tony Soprano's doing his thing, but by the end of the show, he really is that character. Like, he is that character. Do you feel like, your character now is much different than it was in the first season? Like, you really know that character to a different level? Yeah. 'Cause I feel like we watch shows, Rich, that we never really get to see that person evolve as that character.
You only notice it when you watch an early episode again. You're like, holy shit, they're completely different than they are now. They look different. They speak differently. Like, their whole vibe is different.
Do you feel you now know the voice and true personality of that character as opposed to when you first started?
Definitely. I mean, I think that's just the natural progression of any show that's been on the air for a while. People change, and if the characters didn't change on the show, then there's something wrong with the writing. But my character starts out in a very specific way and moves very far away from that, and I knew that in the book series. So I was able to map that out early on, and she's a very different woman now, but I feel like I know her very well.
But that's the weird thing about movies, Rich, because you always hear actors say they just started to feel like that person, like they were owning that character, and then the next thing you know, the movie's done.
Think about season after season. Walking Dead. Look at Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes in season 1 versus now. Looks completely different, acts completely different.
Well, I mean, that character evolved.
Now,
of course.
The fun of this is that people could always go back and start a new series. Which we were saying back in the day, if you sort of miss something, you miss something.
Yeah.
There's no missing something anymore. So you could catch on to a show a little later, catch up, binge watch, and do all that, and you could see it on SyFy. They're up to season 3 of Magicians. Now, I'm trying to think of what you said. Harry Potter fans would enjoy this, but is it more just like an intense drama? Like, how would you describe it for someone that would want to that's looking for some new shows to watch? Because right now, best time. There's nothing.
Right.
There's not a lot on right now, so it's a great time to catch up on something.
It is a good time, and season 1 and 2 are both on Netflix right now, streaming. So that's that's a good
Perfect.
place to watch it. I mean, they've been compared to Game of Thrones and Buffy and Harry
combine
Potter.
them
which,
together. Wow,
yeah,
that's-
like combine them.
that's
so
great.
You get the drama of 20-somethings just trying to figure out relationships and sex and drugs and life and mistakes, and then you get magic and people trying to kill them left and right. So it's, I don't know. I think it's a show about magic. Second, but in the first place, it's just about these human beings, and maybe that's just me being the cheesy actor on the show who has to like tell myself that every day at work that I have to make all of this seem really real.
Right.
But it is. It's
not about
we deal
magic.
with real stuff on the show. We deal with sexual assault. We deal with, diversity. We deal with everything on the show, which I think it's a brave show in the writing.
Do you watch it? Because they were making fun of me because I listen to my own radio stuff. Do you watch the show and enjoy it? Are you able to?
Yeah, I have. This is one of the very few things I can watch because I really love it. And if I wasn't on it, I would definitely be a fan of it. There have been things in the past where I don't want to watch
that's cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we tweet about it when it's airing. The cast gets together sometimes, and so you kind of have to watch it. But it's a really fun show.
Well, thank you for being
Yeah,
here.
so nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
guys.
Season
Olivia
3,
Taylor Dudley.
Magicians on SyFy Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And we'll be back in a second on Covino and Rich.
Thank you.